Leader. This is Passe Partout.
Good morning to you, and thank you for joining us. Yesterday, Governor John Bel Edwards declared January Human Trafficking Prevention Month in Louisiana. This comes as nearly 1,000 victims of human trafficking were reported in the state in 2021. News 10's Britt LaFaso spoke with the executive director of the Governor's Office of Human Trafficking Prevention about why awareness is so vital.
Familial trafficking is something else that we hear about. It's where family members might take their own children and sell them or use them for sex services or labor services to gain money or wages to support a substance abuse habit or to support their basic needs. So, rent, food, clothing, or shelter.
Dana Hunter says oftentimes human trafficking is right under our noses. The latest statistics from 2021 show there were 932 victims of human trafficking right here in communities across Louisiana.
We've heard from victims who have gotten beaten, teeth knocked out, or beaten with pipes, all manner of objects, shoved up private parts. So we've spoken with victims who say, look, they told me that that they would kill my grandmother, who I've been raised by my grandmother. They told me they'll go and kill my little brother, and they know what school he's at.
Hunter says these are only some of the many methods that a pimp or trafficker will use to keep the victim in bondage.
We've heard victims who say, I couldn't eat unless I met a quota. And sometimes that quota was $5,000, or one victim shared with us their quota was $10,000 a night. If we can only imagine a victim, one person having to go and do criminal sexual acts and criminal acts to earn $10,000 in one night for someone else.
She says human trafficking awareness is important because traffickers are a clear and present threat.
They are everywhere. They're in our schools. They're in our schools through other children, through other adults. And so we encourage everyone, if you feel like something is not right, 9 times out of 10, it is not right.
If you suspect you or someone else is in immediate danger of human trafficking, call 911. You can also call the hotline for help. That number is on the screen for you. That's 1-888-373-7888. We turn now to a News 10 investigation on why an accused murderer was set free in December and a month later rearrested. News 10's Dawson D'Amico sharing what he found out.
Accused murderer Travis Lane Jr. was released from the St. Mary Parish Jail on bond while warrants for his arrest were still active in Iberia Parish for a second-degree murder.
Travis Lane has a long rap sheet with the Acadiana law enforcement. Lane was accused and later pled guilty to assaulting an Iberia Parish bus driver. Lane is also accused and indicted of the murder of 17-year-old New Iberia teen Garen Lewis. The victim was shot and killed in a vehicle in 2019. Lane is still awaiting trial on this second-degree murder charge. The question we wanted to know, why was Lane able to walk out of the St. Mary Parish Jail when he had an outstanding detainer in Iberia Parish? We went to the Department of Corrections and St. Mary Parish Sheriff's Office for answers. According to the Department of Corrections, Travis Lane finished his hard labor sentence with the DOC on December 9th for a second-degree battery charge of a school teacher in Catahoula Parish Jail. The Department of Corrections officials tell News 10 they instructed Catahoula to send Lane to Iberia Parish Jail for the second-degree murder charge. Catahoula instead sent Lane to St. Mary Parish Jail pursuant to his theft charges. Lane then bonded out on December 16th, which the DOC says Lane should have been transported to Iberia Parish Jail. Instead, he was set free after paying off his bond. The Department of Corrections then says Lane reported for his probation and parole on December 19th to begin his community supervision. That's when the Iberia Parish District Attorney's Office got involved. The DA's office learned of Lane's good time parole and issued a warrant for his arrest earlier this week. Lane was arrested on Wednesday and now sits in Iberia Parish Jail on his second-degree murder charge.
After we started asking questions to the different law enforcement agencies, they informed us there was a miscommunication between departments on where Lane should have been transported to. As of news time, we are still awaiting to hear from St. Mary Parish about their involvement in allowing this suspect to walk out of their jail. For News 10, I'm Dawson D'Amico.
Also in Iberia Parish, the Sheriff's Office hosted a ribbon cutting and open house Friday for the opening of a new law enforcement facility. Residents and public officials from all over Acadiana celebrated the grand opening of that new center. The Iberia Parish government purchased the property in early 2022 to relocate the Sheriff's Office from the parish courthouse to the new building. Sheriff Romero says this transition moves Iberia Parish in the right direction. Then the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office needs your help this morning in searching for a missing woman. 58-year-old Jean McSpadden was in last contact with her family in mid-November. She's about 5 foot 4 inches tall with brown hair and hazel eyes. Anyone with information is being asked to contact the Iberia Parish Sheriff's Office. In St. Landry Parish, a suspect is in custody after allegedly defacing a public monument at the Opelousas Courthouse. Don Leger can be seen on security cameras trying to pull the monument down of the ground with his truck and returning later to paint over the names on each side. Leger turned himself into authorities after a warrant was issued for his arrest. He was booked into the St. Landry Parish Jail on charges of simple criminal damages. Although the posted bail in St. Landry Parish, President Jesse Bellard plans to use him as an example to prevent this from happening in the historic city there.
I don't want somebody to come around here and start tearing up our stuff. You know, we have to stop this kind of stuff. No matter who it is. I don't care if it's a 66-year-old man or if it's a 15-year-old kid. We can't tolerate that, and we're going to set an example with him, which is why his name's going to be brought out everywhere I can. I want people to know what he did, and for whatever reason he has, it's inexcusable.
Yeah, as for the future of the monument, plans are in place to have it moved to Kentmore Confederate Cemetery and Museum around Kentwood. Bellard says that. And Lafayette 15th Judicial District Court Chief Public Defender Amanda Martin called a meeting Friday to talk about the budget and need for more funding. One big item on the agenda was funding for investigative experts needed for trials. Martin says the state gives money to 42 districts in Louisiana, and the 15th Judicial District Office has been miscalculated. She said when she took the position as a Chief Public Defender, she was informed the office had limited funds and had to cut back. She said the office has the second largest amount of cases in the state, and $150,000 was allotted for all districts. A third of that money was already spent when she took the position. However, she says she does not intend to fail and will fight for the funding, including for much needed investigative experts.
This office will not jeopardize somebody's case because we won't hire an expert. We will, if it's needed and it's necessary, because everything goes through a process of whether it will or will not be approved.
Yeah, and Martin says a board meeting is scheduled for next week, and she will discuss the budget and the impact that lack of funding will have on future cases and trials. Trevor Saunier over in the Weather Center now, and the weather has been beautiful for us. Really, really beautiful.
Yeah, temperatures in the 50s for it this morning, but it's sort of humid out there. Let's take a look at current conditions. 58 in Lafayette, 51 in New Iberia, 53 degrees in Opelousas. Visibility, we are seeing some of that patchy fog due to those humid conditions. The 3-mile visibility in Lake Charles, 3/4 of a mile in New Iberia. Still looking pretty good in Lafayette and Opelousas. Satellite radar shows our next storm system here taking shape across the desert southwest and Texas. This will produce storms across southeastern Texas and northwestern portions of the area today. I think most of Acadiana stays dry, though. Most of those storms will be off to our north and west. But by tomorrow, this system will be working through our area, giving us a pretty high rain chance. And then we have more unsettled weather. California getting more rainfall. They have been waterlogged here lately, and it looks like they'll continue to get more rainfall. This is moving eastward, and this could be our system later on for next week. So for today, temperatures rising rising through the 60s and climbing into the mid-70s. It will be another warm day. Notice the storms showing up here across southeastern Texas and northwestern portions of the state. Central parts of the state could get some storms later on tonight. But for us, I think these storms will be coming in a little later on in the morning, tomorrow morning, and through maybe mid-morning, late morning. But hopefully by tomorrow afternoon, this rain will be moving out. But before it does, we could see 1 to 2 inches of rainfall with this system, so we could see some heavier pockets of rainfall showing up with these storms moving through tomorrow morning. Temperatures in the 70s for this afternoon, somewhere in the mid-70s, falling back into the upper 50s, lower 60s for tonight. For tomorrow, a little bit of a front moves through, so temperatures could drop a bit, getting into the mid to upper 60s for highs, so about some 5 to 8 degrees cooler than what we're anticipating today. Southwesterly winds, 6 to 14 miles per hour, so a little bit of a breeze out there with those winds, and northerly winds coming in tomorrow. So we do have a frontal passage for tomorrow morning. The upper level situation shows this system moving through the area for tomorrow. Could see a secondary system on Monday. Models sort of disagreeing on that, but a little bit of a short wave moving through. This could develop a little low pressure and some rainfall for coastal areas on Monday. Right now, I am introducing slight rain chances into the forecast Monday, 20-30%, and I think most of it would be south of I-10. On Wednesday, here's our next system approaching. This one moves through on Thursday, and this front could be a little stronger, giving us some cooler weather for the end of the week and for next weekend. So rainfall for tomorrow, and Monday and Tuesday remaining dry. Notice the model is trying to show some rainfall on Monday, so that's something that we have to take into account. This is a GFS model. European model doesn't show this rainfall on Monday, so we do have competing models there. We'll continue to monitor that situation for your Monday to start your work week next week. So 76 your high today. A southwesterly wind 8 to 16. I'll put rain chances at about 20%. 7-day forecast shows a 70% chance for rain tomorrow morning, 30% for Monday with that secondary system. Tuesday, Wednesday looking good, but then we could see yet another front coming in by Thursday.
All right, at least